Rude looks like. How does 2,000 bikes sound? Razor felt his heart spike. Sir, you can't be serious. Every chapter from here to Colorado wants to meet the kid who, as 8-year-old Tommy Peterson, was collecting pine cones when he heard weak groaning through the Michigan forest. Following the sound, he discovered a massive man in leather and chains bound to an oak tree, blood crusted on his face, barely conscious after a brutal beating. The patch on his vest read Hell's Angels in bold letters. Most children would have run screaming. But Tommy approached the dying stranger with fearless compassion, offering water from his canteen and promising help was coming. Tommy's legs pumped furiously as he sprinted through the underbrush. Breaking through the treeline, he spotted the old county road and frantically dialed 911 on his beat-up flip phone. "There's a man chained to a tree," Tommy gasped. "He's hurt real bad and bleeding everywhere." "Tommy, where are you exactly right now?" the dispatcher asked. "I'm on the road, but I need to go back to him. He's all alone." "Tommy, I need you to stay exactly where you are." But Tommy was already turning back toward the forest. Racing through the trees, he found Marcus, Razor, Mackenzie hanging against the oak tree, his breathing shallow and labored. "Hey, mister," Tommy whispered. "I called for help. They're coming." Razor's eyes fluttered open. "Kid, you came back. I wasn't going to leave you here alone." Tommy pulled out his canteen again. "Want some more water?" The sound of sirens began echoing through the forest. "Hear that? The ambulance is here." Razor's eyes fixed on Tommy with intensity. "You saved my life, kid. I just did what anybody would do." "No," Razor whispered. "You did what somebody with real courage does. I won't forget this." The paramedics arrived, and as they loaded Razor onto a stretcher, his eyes never left Tommy. "I'll find you and make this right." Days later, Tommy visited Razor in the hospital ICU. His face was a patchwork of bruises and stitches. "You came." Razor's voice was stronger now. "I brought you flowers. My dad says flowers help people feel better." "What happened to you out there?" Tommy asked. "Some bad men didn't like me very much. They thought they could scare me." Razor's eyes softened. "But you know why I'm not scared anymore? Because a brave kid showed me that there are still good people in the world." Razor explained his vest's patches: brotherhood, military service, loyalty. "When someone saves one of us, that's something we never forget." The secure phone in Razor's room buzzed. "Razor, we heard you were dead," Steele Murphy said. "What happened?" "Serpents jumped me, left me for dead. But Steele, an 8-year-old kid, found me. Kid named Tommy Peterson. He stayed, gave me water, called 911. Fearless as they come. Where is this kid now?" "Safe at home." "Good people. This needs to go up the chain. All the way up." Within hours, Razor's story traveled through encrypted channels across 5 states. Chapter presidents grappled with an unprecedented situation: a child who'd risked his safety to save a member. In Chicago, the regional president made the decision. Every chapter within 500 miles needs to hear this story. We're going to show this boy what real brought. Heaved one of ours. At the Sacred Bones Tavern, chapter presidents from 5 states gathered for an unprecedented vote. "A civilian, an 8-year-old boy, risked his life to save one of our own," Thunder Jackson announced. "How do we honor that courage?" The debate revealed deep feeling throughout the Brotherhood. Some worried about attention. Others questioned whether an 8-year-old could understand such recognition. "Tommy Peterson showed our Brotherhood respect we've been waiting our whole lives to receive," Big Mike said. "Time we showed him what that respect means." The gavel fell. Motion carries unanimously. Every chapter within 500 miles wants in. We're looking at potentially 2,000 riders. As news spread, Cedar Falls erupted in fear. Mayor Henderson fielded calls from terrified residents. FBI surveillance tracked motorcycle movements. Parents demanded school closures. "What if they start fighting?" Mrs. Patterson's voice shook. "What if innocent people get hurt?" Tom Bradley announced he was boarding up his store windows. "Better safe than sorry." But Tommy's teacher Maria Santos interjected. We're talking about men coming to honor a child who showed extraordinary courage. Sarah and Jim Peterson watched their community tear itself apart over their son's kindness. Maybe we should leave town, Sarah whispered. No, Jim said firmly. Tommy did nothing wrong. We're not running. That evening, Tommy asked his parents, "Why is everyone so scared? I thought people would be happy." Sometimes when big groups come together, other people worry, Sarah explained. But they're coming to say thank you. That's good, right? Tommy fingered his grandmother's cross. Grandma Rose says being scared is okay, but letting fear stop you from being kind isn't. I want to meet them, Tommy announced. And I want to ask them not to scare people in our town. He wrote them a letter. Dear Hell's Angels, thank you for coming. Some people are scared because they don't know you yet. But I told them you are good people. Please be extra nice to everyone. Your friend, Tommy Peterson. The first rumble began at 5:47 a.m. By dawn, the sound had grown into a continuous roar. Thunder Jackson led 300 motorcycles in perfect formation down the main highway. Behind curtained windows, residents watched with awe and fear. Mrs. Patterson lost count around 200 bikes. At the police station, Chief Dalton monitored reports. First group just passed. No incidents. They're following traffic laws better than most Sunday drivers. The bikers arranged themselves in orderly rows at the designated field. Detroit, Milwaukee, Chicago, Toledo, each chapter planted their banner with pride. Tommy pressed his face against his window. They all came. They really all came. The knock came at 9:02 a.m. Tommy found Razor with 3 other Hells Angels. Mr. and Mrs. Peterson, Razor said formally. This is Thunder Jackson, our regional president, Steele Murphy, and Bear Thompson. Thunder spoke with measured tone. What Tommy did is something we'll never forget. He just did what any decent person should do, Jim replied. No, sir, Bear interjected. Most people would have walked away. Your boy didn't. Razor knelt to Tommy's level and pulled out a bronze star. This is a Purple Heart. Soldiers get it when they're wounded. What you did took more courage than anything I did in the military. Thunder unwrapped a small leather jacket with Honorary Member and Courage Beyond Fear embroidered on the back. This jacket was made by the finest leather workers in our brotherhood. You're the first person under 18 to ever receive anything like this. Tommy touched the soft leather. It's beautiful. Can I put it on? It fit perfectly. How does it feel? Like armor. Like brave armor. As they walked to the field, Tommy noticed neighbors coming out, watching with shifted expressions. From fear to curiosity. At the field, Thunder raised his hand for silence. 2,000 voices died instantly. Brothers, we are here to honor courage. We are here to honor Tommy Peterson. Tommy climbed the platform and pulled out his letter. His young voice carried across the field as he read his carefully written words about being excited but asking them to be extra nice to everyone. The silence that followed was profound. Hardened men found themselves moved by simple words from a child who'd seen their humanity. I've been wearing these colors for 23 years. Bear's voice carried emotion. I've never been more proud than right now. The crowd erupted, not aggressive but honoring something pure. Then something magical happened. Residents approached the bikers. Conversation started. Mrs. Patterson thanked the Detroit chapter. The walls separating community from bikers began crumbling. Bear pulled out a mason jar labeled, "For kids who need help." Tommy saved one of ours. Maybe we can save some of theirs. He dropped $20 into the jar. The response was immediate. 2,000 Hells Angels began contributing. The jar was replaced by larger containers as money piled up. Your town has a children's hospital, right? Thunder asked Tommy. We thought maybe we could help. You want to give money to help sick kids like I helped Mr. Razor? Exactly like that. Word spread. Town residents began contributing. Dr. Patricia Williams arrived, initially skeptical, but the massive organized effort convinced her it was genuine. Because of what you started, we'll buy equipment helping hundreds of children, she told Tommy. By afternoon, The collection approached $75,000. Local businesses contributed. The threatening invasion had become an unprecedented cooperation. The threatening note was crude. Your little hero party ends today. Serpents don't forget. Thunder examined it calmly. When did you find this? 10 minutes ago, Bear replied. Tire tracks near the back fence. Recent. Serpents have been gunning for revenge, Steel said. They see this gathering as weakness. Thunder looked across the field where Tommy was teaching bikers to skip stones. Options? We could leave, Carlos suggested. Take the heat away from the town. That sets a precedent we can't live with, Bear said. Agent Saracen materialized beside them. Gentlemen, we need to talk. Serpents are coming and they're coming armed. Evacuate the civilians now. Abandon the kid who saved one of our own. Steele's voice carried an edge. That's not how this brotherhood works. What if we work together? Thunder proposed. Your surveillance tells us when they're coming. Our tactical knowledge tells us how they'll attack. We coordinate a response protecting everyone. Agent Chen studied the threatening note. All right. But the moment civilians are in danger, we evacuate. Deal. The banner across Town Hall read, Cedar Falls stands with Tommy and our visitors. When shots rang out at 3:47 p.m., the response was immediate. Get down! Thunder's voice boomed as 2,000 bikers and hundreds of civilians dropped to the ground. Tommy found himself surrounded by a protective circle as Hell's Angels formed human shields around every civilian. The attack came from 3 directions. Serpents on stolen motorcycles roared toward the gathering, automatic weapons firing wildly. Razor coordinated the northern defense. Serpents coming from the tree line. Civilians behind the platform now. Bear's Milwaukee chapter took the eastern approach. Stay low. Move to the building. We've got you covered. Steele's Michigan chapter formed a living wall between attackers and children. Several bikers took bullets meant for civilians. Tommy lay flat with Razor's body shielding him. It's okay, Tommy. These are bad men, but we're not going to let them hurt anyone. The firefight lasted 11 minutes and 37 seconds. The casualty count told a remarkable story: 17 Hells Angels wounded, 3 seriously. 0 civilian casualties. Dr. Williams arrived expecting a massacre. Instead, she found wounded Hells Angels refusing treatment until every civilian had been checked. Doctor, Bear said, bleeding from his shoulder. Check the kids first. Sir, you're bleeding severely. The kids first, document. Please. Tommy looked around at wounded friends more concerned about his safety than their injuries. Why did those bad men want to hurt us? He asked Razor. Because some people think kindness is weakness. They see people being good to each other, and it makes them angry. But they're wrong, aren't they? Razor looked around. Hells Angels tending to wounded townspeople, civilians bringing supplies to injured bikers. Yeah, Tommy. They're wrong, and what happened here proved it. 6 months later, the foundation charter for Tommy's Children's Fund was signed. Legal documents bore signatures from Hells Angels presidents, business leaders, medical professionals, and federal agents, a combination that would have seemed impossible before. Tommy, now 9, carefully signed his name. This is really official, isn't it? Very official, Thunder said. This means the money will help sick kids for years to come. The fund had grown beyond expectations. What began in a mason jar had evolved into a national phenomenon with $400,000 in the first year. Your story is changing how we think about public safety, Agent Chen added. The Foundation's first initiative established Courage Corners in children's hospitals across 12 states, spaces where young patients met with volunteers who'd overcome trauma. Many volunteers were Hells Angels discovering unexpected talent for helping children. What do you want people to learn from your story? Director Santos asked. I want them to learn that scary-looking people aren't always scary and that helping somebody is always the right thing, even if you're scared. 1 year after Tommy first heard groaning in the woods, a time capsule ceremony took place. Tommy placed the original metal canteen into the capsule. Someday someone will open this and wonder how all these different things fit together, Tommy said. Razor added photos showing what he was before and after Tommy found him. Thunder placed a Hells Angels banner. This represents brotherhood that expanded to include anyone willing to show courage. Mayor Henderson contributed police barricade plans alongside newspaper clippings showing how fear transformed into understanding. Tommy stepped forward for his final address. A year ago, I heard someone who needed help, and I helped him because that's what you're supposed to do. I didn't know it would turn into all this. He gestured toward hundreds gathered. But I learned something important. When you do the right thing, even when you're scared, it makes other people want to do right things too. Courage spreads like ripples in a pond. He paused, looking around. I hope whoever opens this time capsule will learn that regular people can do extraordinary things just by being kind. And I hope they'll remember that being different on the outside doesn't matter if you're good on the inside. As the capsule was lowered beneath the oak tree, Thunder began the traditional Hells Angels salute, modified to honor the death of prejudice and birth of understanding. 2,000 motorcycle engines revved in unison, their thunder rolling across Cedar Falls as a blessing rather than a threat. That evening, Tommy placed Razor's purple heart beside his grandmother's cross, two symbols of courage reminding him that bravery was about choosing to help when help was needed, regardless of the cost. The story had ended where it began, with a child who understood that doing the right thing was always worth the risk, and whose simple act of compassion had proven that individual. Courage could indeed change the world.